Well, the Eagles now have one final regular season game left before gearing up for the playoffs. The Washington Commanders will visit the Linc on Sunday for their second meeting now in just 2 short weeks. This time around, of course, no starters for the Eagles. So let's go ahead and preview it all with Sean Bell, a host on Sports Radio 94 WIP. Good morning, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but I'm feeling a little nervous for our birds coming into this new year. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right, well, we're going to talk about it, but before we get there, before we look ahead, can we just quickly take a quick second to look back at last week's game in Buffalo, Sean? What was your overall assessment of that game, and did you agree with Sean McDermott's decision to go for 2 and the win at the end of that game?
I guess that was my overall assessment. At the end of the game, I said, I guess a win is a win, but it's been sort of like this all year long. You get a win, but you don't like how it happened. They played terribly in the second half. Well, the offense played terribly in the second half. So, listen, I'm not mad at Sean McDermott. I think most time players will say, yes, let's be aggressive. Yes, let's go ahead and try to get this win. And they were hot at the time. They were moving the ball. They were right there. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that decision because players want you to go for it. Players want you to be aggressive. But again, back to the Philadelphia Eagles, right? We look all year long. Our defense looked phenomenal, but our offense, Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass in the second half. That's not how you win playoff games.
All right, well, on to this week's matchup, because all of that is true, but things are a little bit different this week. The starters are out, the backups are in. In your opinion, Sean, is that the right move?
I don't love it. Like, I get it. What they're doing is prioritizing health, okay? They want all the guys to be healthy. They want to essentially have a bye week before they go into a playoff game, but I don't like it because the way you won the Super Bowl last year was by getting the 2 seed. The way you won the Super Bowl last year was by having home field advantage in the NFC Championship game, and they're forfeiting the right to go for that. Now, technically, they're not forfeiting. They can still beat Washington and Detroit beat Chicago, but they're forfeiting their best chance to getting the number 2 seed. Now, the only question is, I don't know which starters are out. I know they're sitting a lot of starters, but Jalen Hurts already out. Who else is out? Is AJ not playing? Is Devontae Smith not playing? Who's going to be out? And that'll let me know whether or not they're going to win this game. But again, I don't love it. If you're hurt, if you're injured, if you got a little nick or knack, yes, sit. But sitting out a fully healthy person when you have a chance to get the 2 seed, I don't love that decision, especially because you won a Super Bowl getting the 2 seed last year.
Right, Sean, and you kind of alluded to it there. Obviously, we know that it's still a possibility to get the 2 seed if, as you mentioned, the Eagles win and the Bears lose to Detroit. And it doesn't really sound like you're very confident in the Birds' backups to get it done, possibly on Sunday.
Again, we'll find out later today who's actually sitting, right? All we know is Jalen Hurts is sitting. We know Lane Johnson, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Carter, along with some other big-time guys, didn't practice on Thursday. And normally when you don't practice on Thursday, you don't play on Sunday. So we know those guys are sitting, but who else is, right? That's why it's sort of up in the air. I don't know if AJ, Devontae, and some of the other, Saquon Barkley, I expect him to sit. I don't know if those guys are sitting. But again, I don't love it because I want to put my best foot forward, especially because I think the Detroit Lions can beat the Chicago Bears in getting that 2 seed. Every time this team has gone to the Super Bowl, we've been to the Super Bowl 3 times over the last 10 years. And every time they had home field advantage in the NFC Championship game. And you can get that with the 2 seed, or at least you have a better chance at that if you have the 2 seed.
Now, one of the more glaring issues for this Eagles team heading into postseason play, as we've been talking about, has just been the inconsistency of this offense. What are your thoughts maybe on their progression through the season and where that group kind of stands now looking ahead into the playoffs?
Progression, Lindsay? Don't even use that word. There's been no progression with this offense. There's been no progression with Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo being able to put it together. Again, when they play bad teams, like they're going to play Washington. When they played Washington a couple weeks ago, when they play bad teams like that, when they play bad teams like the Raiders, yes, Jalen Hurts and the offense looks good. They put up a lot of points. But every time they played a good team, they've been putting up 10 points, 13 points, 16 points. They've had halves of football where they don't complete a pass, half the football where they have negative yards. So there's been no progression on offense. Another reason why I don't love them sitting everybody, because they're going to go into the postseason and their last offensive half has been a terrible, terrible decision making.
Now, Sean, I want to end maybe on a more positive note here. On the flip side, I appreciate all of that. We know that the defense has been dominant, and boy, they are fun to watch. But are they strong enough to almost compensate for this lack of offense that we've been seeing and talking about? Again, 17 total yards of offense in the second half against the Bills.
Well, that's the positive thing, because yes, I named all these problems with the Eagles, but this is the year where everybody has problems. There's no dominant team where you go, they have it all. Everyone has their issues. So if you want to say who is the best unit in the NFC, right? Who is the best unit, offensive, defensive, special teams? You can argue it's the Eagles defensive unit. They're holding really good teams like the Buffalo Bills to 12 points, like the Green Bay Packers to 10 points. They're holding really good teams, really good offenses to nothing. Almost. So yes, you can. This is a Super Bowl defense. So if this offense could just step up a little bit over this time span, they can win 4 games and win the Super Bowl. So this defense is a dominant one. Is it a good one? And they are praying that the offense brings something, because they have enough to win a Super Bowl.
And Sean, you may not be fully ready to bet on a prediction or anything like that just yet, but if the Eagles do fall short of back-to-back Super Bowls this postseason, what do you think would be one of the main reasons for that?
I mean, we know it. Kevin Patullo in the offense, right? Like, Kevin Patullo is going to be gone after this year if they don't win a Super Bowl. He may still be gone even if they go to a Super Bowl. So it will be the offense and their ability, or lack thereof, of scoring points, and maybe the whole Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown friction and all that other stuff that goes with it. Maybe that comes into play, and maybe they have to make a major move in the offseason to get the offense back on track.
Now, Sean, if people want to follow you, how can they do that? Because you are full of passion and energy, and we love it, and so do Eagles fans.
Thank you. Just go to Sean Bell Live on most social media, Sean Bell Live on Twitter. Again, hop on the Odyssey app, and that'll let you know when I'm working.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean. We appreciate your time very much, and we'll see how Sunday works out. We'll see if they can get that 2 seed.
Thank you. Have a good one.